Hello, I'm Ashley, the engineer at Andover Norton, and as somebody recently said, he will remain nameless, he said it doesn't matter which way a front disc brake wheel is built when you stick it on the front of your bike. Let me tell you, it does. Even though I've never found anything in writing or laid down as to why, the consensus, and there seems to be a common opinion, and the way wheels are built, not only us, but also by the Japanese manufacturers as well, that there's a certain way you lace a rim depending on whether your brake is on the left or the right. It makes sense, but again, I've never seen it laid down in any SAE documentation or any other manufacturing guidance that's out there for the manufacturer of motorcycles. Now then, these two wheels sat here are as if you were sat on the bike. This would be a pre-Mark III, where the disc would be on the right-hand side of the bike. This is a Mark III, where the disc is on the left-hand side of the bike. Now, we'll get some close-ups, but the consensus seems to be in wheel building that the inside spoke, when you apply the brake, must take tension. Now, from that, you can see that if you swap the wheel from a pre-Mark III onto a Mark III, then your spokes are going to be laced in the incorrect direction. There's also another good reason why you wouldn't do that. It's because this lock ring here is threaded now to a condition where if you fit a pre-Mark III onto a Mark III, it could come out. I've never heard of it coming out, but I wouldn't want to be the first one to find out. Now, the lock ring is there. It's actually a right-hand thread. We've got the part number. Again, we get close-ups on completion as well. Now, the other reason why your wheel is actually laced differently is because the spokes are different gauge from one side to the other, inners and outers. We will also highlight what is quite a common question on a wheel, which is an inner spoke and which is an outer spoke. Some people seem confused by the fact of where the spoke enters the hub rather than where it comes out of. Now, this design's been around for a good many years. It works really well. You can go across to stainless spokes. It's something that we must probably end up having to do in the future when we can't get spokes made of the correct steel and get them swaged accordingly and butted and threaded. The problem with that is stainless spokes can snap. I have actually put stainless spokes into a rim, and when you tension them up, they do sound different. Also, using a spoke torque tool, it is quite frightening because they are a thicker spoke in gauge, they tend not to go too tight. You think, oh, that's a bit loose. But if anyone wants to check their spokes on the front wheel of their bike, especially on an original wheel, feel free, because I tell you what, you might think twice about riding it. But however, it has worked for 50 years. I've done it on my Mark III and I was quite amazed just how low the torque reading is on an original wheel. The consensus also seems to be on the rear wheel, it's a bit of a trade-off, where the brake, it doesn't necessarily need to be in tension because that's not the maximum amount of power being put through the wheel. They tend to run where the sprocket is actually putting the max amount of power through the wheel. Therefore, the inner spoke is the one that takes the tension when the drive's applied to the rear wheel. Now, why that's the case, don't know, never seen it laid down, but it's a good rule to adhere to, especially if you're building your own wheels. The other thing is a lot of people don't realise the rim is not actually that well connected to the hub. Inside of each spoke, like on this one here, is like a little bearing face. It gives it a little bit of capability to move. Realistically, you're most probably never going to see it unless you actually hit something hard. Now, on the top, your nipple is also got a similar sort of design that allows it to move in there. It's a good design, it works well, and it's still used on a lot of trail bikes, modern trail bikes that you see on the road today. Now, the other thing to bear in mind is, with these hubs, on the Norton, the early hub has the threaded lock ring. The Mark III has a circlip. You can use a Mark III hub to go across to a pre-Mark III bike, providing you relace the wheel correctly. That's the advice I would give. I wouldn't use a pre-Mark III hub into a Mark III at all. If you've got any questions or you're not sure, you want any photographs, and trust me, I've got loads of them, because this one I built, this one I don't know where it come from. Yeah, I'm quite happy to answer any questions you got, share the photographs with you, and try and help you where we can. Like you say, yourself and Simon can help. Please contact us at Andover Norton. Now, the other thing as well, it's getting towards Easter. Now, if you need parts for those Easter runs out into the countryside, get your bids in quick, because it's no good ringing up on a Monday expecting to get your bits before an Easter Friday. Sadly, everyone else has had the same idea. So get your bids in early. Start thinking about it now. Get your orders in, get your parts sorted, and give your bike a little bit of a rundown before the Easter weekend. Thank you very much.